So, what actually is the nervous system? A collection of nerves and neurons that transmit signals between different parts of the body. And that can sound quite complicated with a collection of nerves and neurons. But don't worry too much, because neurons is just a fancy word for a nerve cell. Or a collection of nerve cells. Neurons are just a collection of lots of different nerve cells. So don't get too confused and bogged down about that. So first of all, we have to understand this thing that we call the central nervous system. So the nervous system actually consists of the brain, the spinal cord, and then all of these nerves and neurons. So we have this thing called the central nervous system. So we have this central nervous system that you have to remember consists of the brain and the spinal cord. And the reason we kind of single this off from the rest of the nervous system and call it this just particular part of the central nervous system is because it has special functions, which we're going to look at now. So let me just write these out. So looking at the CNS's function, and that's just short for central nervous system, CNS. It processes sensory information, so it receives electrical impulses from the various nerves, which we're going to take a look at in a second. And then it coordinates the body's response, which means it transmits electrical impulses. And it's important to know that the response when we're transmitting signals to muscles is very fast. And then when we're transporting signals to glands, which we'll be looking at more in the hormonal section, but we will be looking at a bit today, it is slower because the glands have to release a chemical, as you'll find out in the next few lessons. But just to keep in mind that glands tend to be slower and muscle responses tend to be faster. And that's just kind of something, unfortunately, that you just kind of have to remember. But as always, use your practice questions and every other resource we provide you with. So next, the reason we kind of gone through this central nervous system part is next we're going to look at something called the reflex arc. And this is going to be more complicated in a way, but it's also going to kind of piece everything I've just said together so you can make more sense of it. So let's go ahead and look at that. Let's take a look at the reflex arc.